you are a smart person, right? And so you know what you're supposed to be doing to go from where you are to where you want to go. But if you find yourself that you cannot make the changes that you really want to make, then in this video I'm going to explain one of the main reasons why that is. What is happening inside of your mind that prevents you from taking the steps that you want to take. So for this, let me tell you a quick story about yesterday. Yesterday I came into the office at the same time as a coworker. And so I was heading straight, she was heading left towards the elevators. And she just turns to me and she's like, "Oh, you take the stairs instead of the elevator. That's good. I should be doing that more often." And then she continues walking towards the damned elevator. Right? She literally just told me I should be taking the stairs more often. And then she simply doesn't. So I was standing there like, well, the stairs are right this way. And she sighed and reluctantly she's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll take the stairs. So that's a good example of we all have these aspirations of ourselves where we say we want to do one thing, but when push comes to shove, we oftentimes do something else. And so, really, have you ever thought about why it is that you just find it so difficult to do the things that you want to do? So basically, the analogy I'm going to use for this is the Lemmings. It's an old video game. And in this game, these characters called Lemmings, they just walk around aimlessly. They just start walking straight ahead, and if they bump into a wall, they go the other direction. If there's a cliff, they will just walk right off it. Like literally to their own deaths. That's the game. And then as the player, you have to give them certain commands at the right time, at the right place, in order to get them to do something to reach the end of the level. Right? And that's, I would say, a perfect analogy for how the mind works. Because the thing is, through our evolution, our mind is designed to do one thing, and that is to keep us safe, to prevent us from dying out. And actually, a lot of the processes in our mind, the unconscious, are designed for that purpose. And they actually fucking work. That's why humanity is still alive. Otherwise, we would have died out tens of thousands of years ago. But the thing is, they are not designed for current society. So what I want to talk about today is two of the main things that your mind always tends to do and how to break out of it. So first of all, your mind is clinging to what is familiar. So even if you don't like the situation that you're in life, even if you fucking hate it, your mind clings to it because it's familiar. And everything that you try to do to move up a level, now you're moving into the unknown. Your mind hates that even more than it hates the pain of being where you are. You need to understand this. Back in the days, prehistoric times, yes, life might not be ideal. But as long as you keep living inside of this comfort zone you have created for yourself, you are at least somewhat safe. If you step out of what is familiar, if you step out into new grounds, there could be predators there. There can be other people who try to kill you, right? And so as an attempt to keep you safe, to keep you alive, your mind does not want you to try new things. Your mind would rather have you stay stuck in a place that you hate than to try something new, because that means you have to traverse the unfamiliar. That's so critical. And so a lot of the times, the start is the most difficult part because of this. Because once you have done something a few times, you have a few repetitions, right? Once you've reached that point, now it's like, this isn't as bad as I thought, right? But at first, you need to be that person to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Or maybe someone else does it for you in some situations. But most of the time, you have to be the person who's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this anyway. I feel the fear, but I'm gonna go straight ahead with this. That's usually how it works. And then the second thing, that is energy preservatives, right? Right now, if I go outside to the supermarket, I can get whatever food I want. It doesn't cost me any energy except for walking to the store and walking back. Back in the days, you had to exert a lot of energy to get food, and it was more scarce. So meaning your energy consumption was higher and your energy intake was lower. So what does the mind do? Your mind wants you to stay inactive for as long as possible. Why? Because everything you do that is not required for your survival, that consumes your energy, brings your energy levels down, and if it brings you below the point where you can keep it up, right? In ancient times, if you fall below that point, you're gonna basically die of starvation. So your mind keeps you in a state of inaction because it wants to preserve energy. So it like automatically goes towards your habits, right? What you've always done, it doesn't cost you any brain energy. So your mind defaults to an autopilot state. And you need to really break that. Right now in your life, you are basically that lemming just walking straight ahead, mindlessly. Right? Your goal can be here, you can be here, and there's this ravine in between. Your mind, if you let it, is going to just go straight ahead, straight ahead, straight ahead, and fall to your theoretical death. Of course, it's a metaphor. You're not going to actually die, but you're going to self-sabotage. You're not going to get anywhere closer to your goals. You're literally going to fall off the cliff instead of building the bridge over it. So the thing here is you need to first of all be aware of how your mind works. You need to be aware of that. Because if you don't know the tools your mind uses to basically trick you, you will not be able to fight your way out of this. Secondly, you need to be in that state of conscious awareness of what you are doing on a day-to-day basis. Because if you're not aware, you cannot change it. And from that awareness, you need to be like the player inside of the game, not the lemming itself. You need to be like, okay, here at this point, we are going to exercise, period. At this point, okay, look, I'm in this autopilot state. I'm just walking mindlessly. I need to stop like scrolling through my TikTok. I need to stop scrolling through my Instagram and get to fucking work. You need to be the one to give those commands and to actually do it. I know it feels uncomfortable to do that at first, but you need to really push yourself and force yourself to do the right thing at first. You need to reinforce new habits into your life. And if you want to do that, I've got a free training below this video where you can get that training absolutely free. Just go ahead, click the link below this video, get the free training on how to build new habits into your life. So you go from being unaware of what your mind is doing to being aware to then taking control. You need to be the player of your life, not just a character who is walking around mindlessly. And if you do that just a couple of times, now the fourth time, it will be a lot easier. If you do it 10 times, that's still a lot easier still. And if you do it over and over and over and over again, your new habit becomes the default. But it starts with you taking control of your own life instead of just going through the fucking motions. And if you do that, you go from being a lemming to being the player in control of your own fucking life. And that's what you want, right? You want to be in control of your future, not just drifting aimlessly at the winds, right? So for that, go ahead, get this free training below this video. Give this video a quick thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel because I'll be bringing you way more content to take you from where you are today to where you really want to go. And so that's enough out of me for today.